As seasons passed, soldiers felt the hot, humid summer of South Korea and the below-zero, extremely cold winter. Injuries like frostbite were not uncommon in the American infantries. Harold remembered a time when it became suddenly cold at his compound. South Korean citizens had stolen oil out of their tank.
But up on our hill in the summertime, we would mount a barrel up on a stand, and then we would hook a hose on that barrel, and in the summertime, then the sun would warm the water, and we'd take a shower outside under these conditions. In the winter, oh boy, you done the best you could with just trying to heat some water on an old potbelly stove and kind of clean yourself, the best you could.
After 2 years, Harold returned home from active duty.
Came back and he went on, had to come back across on the ship again, so he was really glad to get to Fort Lewis, where he was released or discharged from the Army. He was real anxious to get home, and they were saying that he had to stay for 2 or 3 days to get his Korean bonus or release pay, and he just wanted to get home to us, and so he didn't stay, and so therefore he relinquished his $800 or whatever he was supposed to get.
And then they would rotate us, and I remember the leader of our group up in that outpost was to be rotated, and my time was getting also probably a couple months left there before my rotation, and I was a corporal, and they said, we'll make you acting sergeant if you would stay. And next, over your time, and then when I returned to the States, I would be discharged. But I said, no, I'm getting out of here. I'm going home. When you count your days in a situation like that, and those conditions, and always living on edge, you mark off the days on the calendar. I don't care what you make me, I'm going home. And so, but I took a ship for 2 weeks on the ocean ship, and we docked at Seattle, Washington. I took the Amtrak train from Seattle to Minneapolis, and a bus from Minneapolis to Pipestone, Minnesota. And then I had to go to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Well, I had about maybe 45 days left in the Army. And they stuck me in the airborne paratrooper. And I went through training again. Then I was discharged there at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Once home, American veterans were faced with a process of adjusting to their everyday life.
Of course, we were really happy to have him back. It was, it was a change for him to be around family and be around a young son, and took all of us some getting used to. He worked, he was going to be farming with his brother the next spring, so he found a job in a gas station, kind of mechanic gas station for that year. He attended ag school, which he received as for the time he spent in the service.
I came home, and there was an adjustment because of living on edge all that time. I was very touchy and I remember one time I was was home and I was sleeping on the couch, and my little brother touched me, and I had him down on the floor so quick, you won't believe it. And I warned him never to touch me, or anything like that. So there was an adjustment there too, to come back to civilian life and all that we had here. And I had some money saved, and I was going to go to Minneapolis to Dunwoody, I believe it is, school, and pursue my career in communications. But then there was an advertisement in the paper that somebody wanted help on the farm there, on a dairy farm, for 2 weeks. And so I answered the ad. And I answered that ad, and I was there for 3.5 years. From there, basically, it's history. I'm glad now, after I'm through it, that I did. It was an experience, you might say it's $1 million experience, but I won't want to do it again.
No, I just believe that he felt that he wanted to serve his country.
We're too unappreciated. Many people have not experienced this, of course, and I understand that. But we aren't thankful enough for what we have. I thank the good Lord, for keeping you and keeping me on the path of life that we have now on.
Believed in what he did and what others did, and was proud that he was a veteran.
The North and South Koreas theoretically remain at war, and America's involvement is nicknamed the Forgotten War. However, many corporations and veterans are determined to keep the memory of those who served and those who honorably died alive in history. Their courage, dedication, and patriotism will never be forgotten.
Oh, soldiers never die, they just fade away. There is an old mess hall not far away, where we get pork and beans 3 times a day. Ham and eggs we never see, even when we're on KP, and we are gradually fading away. Oh, soldiers never die, never die, never die. Oh, soldiers never die, they just fade away. Privates, they love their beer 3 times a day. Corporals, they love their stripes, and that ain't hay. Sergeants put you through the mill, they just drill and drill and drill, and they will drill until they fade away. Oh, soldiers never die,